This is the arch enemy of concrete, the diamond concrete saw blade. Its peripheral diamond cutter head can effortlessly bisect concrete. Such a sharp cutter head, and you can hardly imagine how it is manufactured. The cutter head is made from synthetic diamond matrix powder and small particles, bound by a binder. Based on the size of the final cutter head, the factory pours a specific amount of raw material particles into the cutter head mold. Then, a hydraulic press is employed to apply a P ratio of 10 to 30 tons to the particles in the mold. As a result, the granular raw materials are compressed into a cutter head embryo with a certain shape. Next, the workers carefully place the cutter embryos in a heating mold according to specific placement requirements. Subsequently, they use fire bricks to block the sides of the mold. This is to minimize heat loss during the curing process. To ensure tight fit between the mold and the refractory bricks, the workers use a rectangular fixture. They sandwich the cutter embryos and the refractory bricks in the middle and fasten the bolts to hold them securely in place. After that, the fixture with the cutter embryos and the mold is transferred to a hot press sintering furnace. Under high temperature and pressure conditions, the cutter embryos undergo metallurgical bonding to form a dense metal matrix to prevent the diamond from losing its hardness due to graphitization. The heating time of this sintering process is usually kept relatively short. Once the sintering process is finished, the workers remove the fixture and the mold, taking out the hardened cutter head inside to eliminate the sharp blemishes on the cutter head surface. The factory first uses a rolling polisher for rough polishing of the cutter head. Then, a drum grinder is used, along with abrasive sand, to perform a more refined grinding of the tool. After the grinding is completed, the processing of the cutter head is done. The next step is to weld the cutter head and the steel body together to ensure the overall strength and welding accuracy of the saw blade. The welding of the cutter head and the steel body is typically carried out by an automatic welding machine. After the welding, the workers use grinding wheels to polish the front end of the cutter head. This is to expose the diamond particles by 0.3 to 0.5 millimeters, thus revealing the cutting edge for efficient cutting. Moreover, they also polish the upper and lower ends of the entire saw blade. This not only removes the protruding weld between the cutter head and the steel body, but also makes the whole saw blade look smoother and more aesthetically pleasing. After this polishing, the workers use UV printers to print product and promotional information on the surface of the tool. So far, a diamond concrete saw blade is successfully manufactured.